Welcome to this video recording of the extra council meeting held on the 13th of August 2014. This meeting was called by the Green Party and the Conservatives to try and get the Borough Plan Working Group to actually be a proper constituted group of the council. Without this motion, what will happen is the Borough Plan Working Group will meet in secret and operate like a timeshare sales pitch. By putting this motion forward, what we wanted to do was actually get the group to be properly constituted, have proper minutes, and actually work in a more professional way rather than work very much like a timeshare sales pitch for the proposals of Labour's building on all the countryside. One of the other key aspects of it being a proper group of the council is that all 34 councillors could actually go and observe what was going on. Whereas the way the working group is set up, there'll just be 8 members locked in a closed room. So it was an important vote for democracy. Very much, we'll have lots of arguments and disagreements between the parties, but if we did it at a public meeting, the working group would work a lot better. On money, this meeting cost maybe £500. Currently, the council is losing about £300,000 a year in planning appeals. A lot of that is down to us not having a borough plan. A borough plan will identify sites for housing, which means we can then turn down inappropriate sites. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope in future to get the sound quality better, so it's early days. And also available probably online is the Labour and the Tory versions of this video, because actually we're encouraging everyone now to video meetings, which is a great step for democracy. Thank you very much and enjoy the film.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. The motion before us tonight has been designed with one aim in mind: to give the formulation of this borough plan and future local plans the openness, transparency and legitimacy that they need in order to command the confidence of the residents of Nuneaton and Bedford. Without legitimacy and confidence, we are creating a divide between us as local politicians and the residents whom we are elected to serve. At the moment, local plans are put together at the whim of the Cabinet at the time. The makeup of the Cabinet, the openness of the committee, the openness of the committee and the purpose of the committee are all entirely made up at the pleasure of the Cabinet. It can be revoked just as easily as it is created. We are always going to be required to have a local plan, so let us create a committee whose purpose and makeup and very existence is clearly defined in our Constitution as part of the government's arrangements. Confidence in the current borough plan, Mr. Mayor, is virtually non-existent. Residents are angry, concerned and in some cases furious about the development of the borough plan to date, where the vast majority of development is being proposed in Nuneaton, although Bedford is taking a significant, although minority chunk. Let us look at the support that the current plan has across the areas affected in Nuneaton by the proposals. Attleborough, only 38% voted Labour. Arbury, only 35% voted Labour. Whitestone, only 21% voted Labour. St Nicholas, only 15% voted Labour. And in Wellington, only 12.5% voted Labour. And because of the absence of a borough plan, other areas are under threat. Galley Common is now under threat, and 35% of voters there voted Labour. Indeed, across the borough, Labour only managed to get 41% of the vote, hardly a resounding endorsement.
Mr. Mayor, I understood that the councillor should speak to the altered motion. I don't know what he's saying has to do with the altered motion.
Well, if Councillor Jackson bears with me and lets me finish my opening proposal, she will get the gist of what I'm saying. Well, perhaps you just don't like the bare facts. And it's hardly a resounding endorsement of the present borough plan. Only by the quirks of our electoral system is Labour in the position they are now, and in time that will change. Whilst political winds come and go, the borough plan will change the makeup of our borough for decades to come, and so will the next local plan, and the one after that. We should have a system that is fit for purpose, and at the moment it quite clearly is not. system that is robust and inclusive as possible for the very people that will be affected. Why are Labour so afraid of the public being able to come to a formal committee of this council and contributing to the development of our borough plan? Why are Labour so afraid of having minutes of the recommendations that are made for the borough plan? And why, to put it bluntly, are Labour so afraid of scrutiny on this issue? I believe the key word is accountability. As councillors, we should be prepared to stand up and accept responsibility for the decisions and recommendations that we make. It is only the last possible minute that this present administration does so, and we saw that recently with the report of the Borough Plan Working Party being added to the Cabinet agenda only 4 hours before the meeting started, despite instructions being given to officers the previous week to bring it to Cabinet. Painful way to run a democratic council. Labour sets so much store about this council being one of the most open and transparent with regards to how it lets members speak at meetings of this council. Prove it. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to be frightened of by accepting the principle of this motion. Be more open, be more transparent, and be more democratic. Vote to set up a formal, proper committee to decide the future of our borough for generations to come. Mr. Mayor, I so move the motion as amended and printed.
Thank you. And is there a seconder of the list of signatories?
Thank you, Mr. I'll second the motion and reserve my rights for next one.
Thank you. I remind members that this matter is for discussion and the normal rules of debate will apply as set out in Council Procedure Rule 13. Does any member wish to speak? No? Councillor Foster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't intend to say too much. Since the proposal on the table today is one with the aim of bringing to fruition at the earliest possible time, along with needed funds for the borough, I would hope that it would be willingly supported by the members of this council. In the Sustainable Communities Plan, recently released, which I have a copy somewhere. We've all seen this. The number one fact within the borough, and I'll read it, is that Nuneaton and Bedford covers 30.5 square miles, the majority of which is open space or countryside. Why then, oh why, do I have to feel the way I do about what is happening to my area, and most of the other residents of the borough have the same feeling? We should leave ourselves plenty of time to plan things properly. Why must we have damaging headlines, such as in today's local paper? And I'll quote it. Still no new land for burial ground. There's no excuse for this to happen. We have an area which was unfortunately near the river, and then later found that the water table was rather higher than it should have been. We should have several areas at much higher places where the water table is quite low. We can work together quite well. Only last night's planning application meeting.
Councillor, can you speak to the motion, please?
Well, this is
We're not talking about burial ground, we're talking about the plan.
okay. This is the plan. In the planning application committee meeting last night, I seconded the proposal made by a Labour member. In the second item on the agenda, my own proposal was seconded by the chair. Quite rightly so. The thing was evidence-based and we came to the right conclusions. We very often don't do that. Just to finish on a point, I will basically finish on that. This afternoon I went to a funeral of a member who I only met 2 years ago and has given me a lot of stick over the last, he's only made twice a week and how we each time. As you all well know, the technical issues I brought up about the problems in my area, and in fact the whole borough, it isn't just in St Nicholas, of traffic causing air pollution, where we already exceed those limits. We are already exceeding limits. We can work together to make sure these things don't happen. The resident, as it happened today, it died from the very things that I mentioned, asthma, leading to the heart attack. We should be trying to help our residents so that unfortunate things like this should happen to the shepherd with only 1 year old a day gets me a little bit worried about things. So I'll leave it at that. I think that there should be some conciliation between us. I see no problem with you accepting this motion tonight. I encourage you to do that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor? Councillor Jackson, you
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to speak to the motion as put by Councillor Wilson this evening. I note, Councillor Wilson, that you want a standing committee appointed by the leader of the council. That's your motion. You want it to consist of 8 members. The decision of Cabinet, when it met in July, was that a working party of 8 members be constituted. I see no difference. You wanted there to be 6 Labour members. That's exactly the decision of Cabinet in July. You want there to be 1 member from each of the alternative, the opposition groups. That is exactly the Cabinet in July. No difference whatsoever. Both a working party or a committee would report to Cabinet as the executive function of the council. And from there, the Cabinet would bring a report to council. No difference between a committee or a working party. We called this meeting when a lot of residents in the borough would be on annual leave, taking time off in August. For what purpose? And it seems to me the merits are minor. The cost of constituting this evening's meeting is around £500, I understand. So we called a meeting at that cost to have a group of 8 members meet, as was agreed at Cabinet, 6 Labour members, as agreed at Cabinet, 1 member from the Conservative opposition group, as agreed at Cabinet, and 1 member from the alternative group formed to provide effective opposition to the unfair borough plan, as agreed at Cabinet. I think the existing Cabinet decision, I was not there at that meeting, I was on annual leave, seems to me sensible. I fail to understand why it is necessary at council taxpayers' expense to hold this meeting and potentially delay the progress of an important policy of this council. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Stanley, you want to indicate?
I'm surprised that we're here, as the Deputy Leader has said quite clearly. When you called it, you got it wrong, because there's no legal standing. You've had to work it all around the solicitors to get this meeting cleared up off the ground. You're total and utter waste of money. As it's been pointed out, it is up 86 and 11. Actually, we don't have to, the committee set up and the system is legally, we don't have to have any of you on the committee. We don't have to have anywhere near. We can operate and run the committee, the planning committee, the subcommittee, without you. This party, this side, we don't do them tricks. We open it up to everybody. We give you the opportunity to come on. What did you do at the last working party? What did you Tories do? You walked away. You were so frightened of getting elected, of votes, that you were not brave enough to stand up and put forward the plans that we put forward to the people to let them talk on the borough plan. You used it as a political football. You were frightened to come we don't play his board game. He's been trying out that. We've got, by the way, your partner over there is accepted to sit on the committee that Cabinet has set up. County Court has accepted. He's actually said to us, tonight I should imagine he'll be voting with us on the way we vote, because he's already agreed to sit with us and accept the setup that we've done. He's actually asked me today if I will tell him of the first meeting the subcommittee sits down. And he can book his holiday, so I can tell him that. I can't do that because he's called this meeting. Because he's called this meeting. Sorry, what we do? Just go on, and then I'll been called.
When you are standing, how nervous how the Green Party voting got anything to do with this motion. So we all need to stick to the topic tonight and appreciate.
Well, if you could explain that to some of your colleagues, you might help. Councillor Wynne.
Oh my God, the new councillors, you've got to understand, everybody, they've got to learn what it's all about. We have just, you have been, I think tonight, and I do respect the Mayor and that Chair so highly. I think you've got away with murder tonight because you've diverted away from the actual issue that you're here for half the time. We've been lecturing on the number. Actually, if all of you two were standing, you'd have only had that noise sitting there because you've been kicked out. We're so bad in what we're doing in the Borough plan. Look at all those empty seats. Look at all the empty seats. Where are they? Where's your leader gone? He lectures us on the figures of what Labour is. We even get lectured that we can't bury somebody down the road because we're next to the water. And we've got a councillor standing at me. Free democracy. We love that thing. Free democracy. That's what we do. And County Court asked for today. I cannot give the day we're going to hold the first meeting, Councillor, because of this meeting. You were part of the calling of the meeting. If you hadn't, we could have had it accepted, and the Tories would have accepted to sit on the committee. We'd have called the meeting, we'd have got up, we would have gone to the first meeting and been told, and you could have gone off holiday. You could have put your substitute in if you want there. That's the other thing you asked. You can have your substitute, that's one thing you're going. On it. And the committee had been up and running. You've complained to us about time, getting it in. We've gone out to the public. This is, again, you ain't got a clue, have you, really, what happens? We've been out to the public with our plan. The public have had it, they're putting all their views back in. What do you think we do with them? Do we just shook them to side? You know that. Do we shook them to side? Do we just ignore them? Of course we don't. Our officers have to go through everyone that comes into this council, and that's what they've been doing. They have to go and have a look at every area that the public have put into us to make sure it is viable, where they can build houses and industry and schools and that, so we can move the plan forward. They have to be inspected and make sure we can do. Then we're going to bring some, the working party gets up, we will bring some issues to you to make the decision. You won't be there, you don't want to come, like you did last time. And decision made. We did it this way, why? I will tell you, because I don't like your policy one little bit, anything to do with tourism. Well, what we do, we listen. And what we do, they said, well, no, we want it done quick. You're moaning. I've got your MP, by the way. He ain't got a clue. He's got this, complaining at you. He's complaining at some boy. He's complaining at you. All this meeting.
You've had your 3 minutes. That's the point of order.
Sorry?
That's the point of order.
No, well, Dan Boyd, no, it's not Guy, you're an MP. He's criticising you for calling this meeting.
You've had your 3 minutes.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Hammond.
I appreciate it. You're lucky. Hey, I'm lovely. I'm good reading that.
Mr. Mayor, in almost 25 years on this council, I have never saw the performance that we've had tonight. Some of the accusations that are being made are absolutely disgraceful, Mr. Mayor. We have the leader of the group opposite accusing us, he didn't use the word, but accusing us of gerrymandering the local plan to suit our needs. We haven't done that. We won't do it. We'll do it in a democratic way. If we post all the figures, everything's going in the meeting according to it. Perhaps he hasn't been over Bedworth and see what they have there.
Point of personal explanation.
Mr. Mayor, we all... There's no such thing, Mr. Mayor.
There is a point of personal explanation.
Carry on.
Mr. Mayor, his colleague that sits next to him accuses us of causing people's deaths. He's been to a funeral and he said it. The man had died of things that are being caused by our developments. It's absolutely disgraceful. It's not true and it's a disgrace. We publicly apologise for it, Chair. All they do is be parochial. We've always worked as one council. Can you imagine some of the things I've had to fight against in Bedworth about what people in Bedworth used to think about Nuneaton getting everything? Well, I've always worked on the theory we are one borough. But these now are parochial. Everything they talk about is the bits that happen in their own patches. It was said by themselves. And I've got to say, Mr. Mayor, regardless is the wrong word. If there's any delay in the local plan, it doesn't affect the way a planning applications committee makes its decisions. It has done and will always make decisions based on the merits of the application. In fact, it just shows, and Councillor Lloyd has pointed out, the local MPs' lack of knowledge. And if they knew their own areas, they would know for some of the reasons why we refuse some applications. It's our local knowledge as local councillors. Their government makes a presumption in favour of development. They introduce localism that means nothing. It's taken away more say by local people. And, any delay is down to them. It's because of that, Mr. Mayor. So, in regard to the local plan, democracy will take its course. It was interesting, wasn't it? Councillor Foster said, we should allow plenty of time. But at the same time, he wants us to speed things up. I'm sorry, democracy will take its course so that we can get things right. And I'll finish, Mr. Mayor, by saying I really do think they should apologise for what's been said tonight, and also for them exercising their democratic right, but that has resulted in this cost to the council, well, not to the council, but to the people that live in this borough and have got to pay their council tax to them. There was no need for this. They know it could have gone ahead. It was already moving forward, yet they called this meeting, and if we hadn't accepted this for debate tonight, there would have been another meeting. How many meetings are they going to call at the expense of the council taxpayer? Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Wilson, you wanted a personal explanation.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Hancock is, as usual, quite mistaken, because if he actually cleaned his ears out once in a while, he would have heard I didn't mention Bedworth. That's fair play.
I haven't made personal insults to the council office. No need for him to do it either. He isn't aware of any possible issues I've got around my hearing.
Well, obviously, you didn't hear just a bit about in my moving of the motion about Bedworth, Mr. Mayor.
Pardon?
Good one. So obviously, he has selected hearing when it comes to the opposition side. He doesn't like to hear the proper debate.
Sure, Councillor. Right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I listened with interest tonight to some of the comments from opposite, particularly about the very minor differences that we were told that exist between the Borough Working Party and the committee that we're talking about setting up. If they're so minor, what are the objections? I think the real reason for the objections is that the group opposite know the committee isn't a minor difference. It's a very significant difference. It's a difference that means there will be transparency and openness. And they are apparently, in your view, very minor things. Well, I don't think they're minor at all, and I don't think residents think those issues are minor either. And as far as any cost incurred in calling this meeting tonight, which will hopefully change our constitution and add value going forward for years, £500, if that is the cost of tonight's meeting, compared to the hundreds of thousands of pounds that we have incurred as a council because the council's lost planning appeals due to not having a borough plan. So let's get back to the real reason we're here tonight, and it is a very simple reason. There are unreasonable...
Mr. Mayor, can I point a clarification on the comment?
Councillor,
Let me make it absolutely clear. This borough plan and this meeting absolutely nothing to do with appeals and activities at all. The appeals have gone through the committee in effect, so do not link any appeal towards the borough plan or this meeting. I have figures and facts from the inspectors. Let me read these one paragraph here and then I finish. Inspection decisions are unreasonable, not based on lack of borough plan. On every appeal that has gone through what we've done at the appeal committee.
Sorry.
thank you.
So, yeah, back to the real reason we're here, which is the unreasonable delay in bringing forward a borough plan. It's as simple as that. After 4 years, none of the members opposite could credibly claim that they were bringing forward.
Obviously, the council opposite was not listening. None of the appeals, right, that went forward with loss due to a plan. Your assumption that not having a local
I
plan...
can save you a point of personal clarification, Mr. Mayor.
Let council finish.
Your assumption that not having a local plan has cost hundreds of thousands of pounds reference to the appeals is wrong.
Thank you. West guy.
I feel it all fall on deaf ears, so it's not worth bothering. I'll just carry on if I can, Mr. Mayor, and get this finished. After 4 years, you can't credibly claim to be bringing forward the plan as quickly as possible. We only have to look at the inactivity over the last year and the significant underspend in bringing forward the borough plan that was reported to council recently. It's obvious, it's just delaying tactics on the part of the group opposite who just want to have development by stealth, particularly in areas, greenbelt areas, farmland areas. They mentioned about Nuneaton and St Nicholas, the ward that I stand for. Well, that's a case in point. It would have been unthinkable for there to be thousands of houses approved for development there. The infrastructure just can't take it. And why would you select greenbelt and countryside? It just seems unreasonable. So, I think at the end of the day, we just want to bring forward a borough plan as soon as possible. And the way to do that is to have public scrutiny. Whatever members opposite say about the working party and it isn't broken, it clearly is. It doesn't work the current system. 4 years with no sight of an end coming up means that we've got to change something. If we have a properly constituted committee where the members of the public can come and observe, they can speak at it, and there's properly published minutes, that's transparency, that's openness, that will ensure that the process is moved forward on a timely basis, or everybody will be able to see why it hasn't been. And that's the important point. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Is there anybody other member wish to speak? Councillor.
The leader said that the committees are open to the public. Any member of the public can come to a committee. In order to do what your leader wants, we've got to change the constitution. And there has to be a committee set up to change the constitution. That's the only way you'll get it. And it's absolutely ridiculous. He keeps saying about the green belt. What did Mr. Pickle say? Build in the green belt. Yeah. He's a good chap for us, you know. Yeah.
Now, you've reserved the right to speak.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and I won't engage in any of the arguments that have gone on. I think we need to move forwards. A very important part provision of doctor's surgeries, cycle lanes, bus stations, all sorts of things we need to do. Planning policies about warm homes. There is so much we need to discuss that can be done in public. And so much would work so much better if we had public meetings and only closed them off for the periods we need. I believe by passing this motion, we're not substantially wrecking the borough plan, we're actually making it better. We're actually enabling the Tories to come along to the meetings as well. I will have lots of arguments with the Tories because I disagree on lots of stuff, but that's part of democracy. And we can have the meetings in public as much as possible. We'll have proper meetings, and it won't be like the timeshare sales pitch where you go in a room, they give you a presentation, they keep you there till you say the right thing, and then they go away. Now I said, I'm going to the Borough Plan working groups, whatever. I was standing outside with placards when I wasn't allowed in. I want to be in the process. I know if it's a closed working group, the process will be fairly rotten. But I will take part because I need to see what is going on. I need to make my views felt. I'll be massively outnumbered. There'll be 6 of you and 1 of me. But I'll be there fighting for my constituents, fighting to make a better plan. And I hope some of it sinks in. This meeting costs £500. Delaying the borough plan each year costs about £600. £300,000 for the process and £300,000 for all the appeals. We don't need a borough plan to win appeals, but we do need a 5-year housing supply, and the borough plan will allocate where housing should go. So it is important to have a borough plan. If at your planning meetings you wish to reject an application, it's far easier to do it so if it's not in the borough plan and we've got a plan as to how to get our 5-year housing supply. So I do hope some of you will support and actually go for an open process. It will actually make things better in the long run, because if it's a closed process, it makes things more bitter and more confrontational afterwards, and it reduces the chance of us getting a plan. We're more likely to get a plan quickly if all the parties attend and we can actually have grown-up conversations. So I would like to move forward with this motion, have a properly constituted committee, and move forward and stop wasting the taxpayers' money. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that. The second is now spoke. Councillor Wilson, do you want to
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Jackson was at great pains to go through the similarities between what the Cabinet set up a couple of weeks ago and what this motion intends to do. Leader of the Council, check. 8 members, check. Recommendations to Cabinet, check. Then we come to the major differences. Formal agendas, Labour, no. This motion, yes. Formal minutes, Labour, no. This committee, as through this motion, yes. In public, Labour, no. This motion, yes. Those are very key differences in my book, and if Labour don't think they are, then they really haven't got the hang of what a democratic and vital issue this is to the residents of the borough. The cost, they mentioned the cost of £500. I'll take no lectures from Labour on calling extraordinary councils when they called one on the issue of the county borough, the county changes, which were gerrymandered by Labour and Lib Dems on a decision at county where Lib Dems have had the casting vote and don't even have any representation in this borough. They called an additional committee which had no power over it whatsoever and virtually achieved nothing. This is of key importance to the residents of the borough, and this is something the council can actually control. Councillor Jackson was quite right, don't have to have a committee. If she remembers listening to my opening statement, I said local plans and the committees are put together at the whim of the Cabinet. We agree on that one. The vital difference is that we believe there should be a committee, it should be a standing committee, and it should be within the Constitution as a vital yardstick by which members of the public can judge us by. Councillor Lloyd talks about getting away with murder. Nothing could be further from the truth. What they've been doing is getting away with murder since the May elections. Vital secret papers being instructed by officers only to be given out at the time of the agenda being considered at this council. I had to specifically before the Cabinet is to consider those items. That's not open and transparent, that's getting away with murder, Mr.
There's
Mayor.
a point of order.
Yeah, point of order. I do believe that the party opposite did receive those particular papers before any of us did in here.
That, Mr. Mayor, is because I had to specifically request them. Officers were under instructions not to hand them out, and this is what the information I had from officers, until the actual council had gone into secret session, so that then they would be handed out. That is the information I was given, and those were the instructions.
Right, can we go
It's
back
not
to
my
the
fault
motion?
that
Can we
you
go back to
crashed
the
the
motion,
motion.
Councillor Wilson?
I am, I'm just responding. They talk about a threat. We haven't issued a threat, it's just a statement of intent. It's quite clear what we're going to do. I am not the leader of the Green Party. Councillor Condacore isn't the leader of the Conservative Party. Where we do have interests of commonality is ensuring that this process is open and democratic and transparent. You can take it as a threat, and mine's just a simple statement of intent of what we're going to do. We will not give a fig leaf of acceptability to the opposition, sorry, to the controlling group over this one. And they talk about being parochial. Well, perhaps they should remember the Cabinet report, which came out with the original proposed consultation. They specifically went against the recommendations of officers in where land should be designated for building on. St Nicholas and Wellington, the 3,000 houses, officers hadn't even considered as being suitable. It's that lot over there which decided to put it in, Mr. Mayor. I think there's a bit of parochialism on the other side, Mr. Mayor. If they remember my opening statement, I referred to wards which aren't even Conservative. So that's not just me standing up for my ward, which I'm perfectly happy to do, and that's what I'm elected to do. I'm standing up for Appleborough, for Arbury, for Whitestone, St Nicholas, for Wellington, which we all agree on is getting a duff deal, and for Galley Common. That's not being parochial, Mr. Mayor, that's taking a look across the entire borough, which is being affected, and Bedworth, which is taking a hit. I just mentioned Bedworth, Councillor Haynes. Bedworth is getting a hit as well around Hospital Lane, isn't it? So, these are issues which need to be addressed.
We'll have a conversation and let the council continue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The key point of this motion, and at the heart of this motion, is openness, transparency and democracy. If Labour have nothing to hide, then they should vote for it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. I'll now move to the vote.
Can I call for a recorded vote, please, Mr. Mayor?
They've got 3 members standing.
Mr. Mayor, I will read out the name of each member in alphabetical order who will indicate if they are for or against. Councillor Aldington, apologies. Councillor Beaumont.
Against.
Councillor Bennett. Councillor Bonner. For. Councillor Cochrane, apologies. Councillor Doherty. Councillor Doughty. Councillor Elliott.
Against.
Councillor Foster. For. Councillor Fowler.
Against.
Councillor Glass.
Against.
Councillor Grant. Absent. Councillor Hancock.
Against?
Councillor Harvey, apologies. Councillor Hawkes.
Against?
Councillor Haynes.
Against?
Councillor Hickling.
Against.
Councillor Jackson.
Against.
Councillor Condana.
For.
Councillor Tony Lloyd.
Against?
Councillor Ian Lloyd.
Against.
Councillor Longden. Very much against. Councillor Margaret. Councillor Navarro.
Against.
Councillor Caroline Phillips.
Against.
Councillor Neil Phillips.
Against.
Councillor Pomfret.
Against?
Councillor Jill Shepherd.
Against.
Councillor Tracy Shepherd.
Against.
Councillor Tandy.
Against.
Councillor Taylor.
Against.
Councillor Tromans. For. Councillor